Good morning, everyone. My name is Teacher Happy. What's your name? Great. Do you know what day is it today? Today is Wednesday, May 20, 2020. If today is Wednesday, what day was it yesterday? Yesterday was Tuesday. If yesterday was Tuesday and today is Wednesday, what day will it be tomorrow? Tomorrow will be Thursday. How's the weather today? Is it sunny? Is it cloudy? Or is it rainy? That's right. It is sunny today. And it's very, very hot. Do you like the weather today? Great. For our circle time today, I am reading you a story. This story is about a beaver. Little beaver and the big front tooth. Are you ready for this story? Awesome. Now let's read. This is a story about little beaver and the big front tooth. One day, Duck and Otter and Turtle went to visit their friend Little Beaver in a house of mud and sticks. "Come out and play," they called. "Nuh-uh," the little beaver. "Can't." "What's the matter?" asked Duck. "You sound funny." "Are you sick?" asked Otter. "Don't you like us anymore?" asked Turtle. Little Beaver didn't answer. His friends waited and waited, but Little Beaver didn't come out to play. Finally, his friends went away looking sad. When they were gone, Little Beaver came out of his house. He was feeling scared. One of his big front teeth was loose. It was so loose, it felt like it might fall out. Right then and right there. How could he be a beaver if he didn't have any big front teeth? Little Beaver looked at his reflection in the pond. He thought and thought. At last he had an idea. Maybe he wasn't a beaver after all. Maybe I'm a woodchuck, he said. Woodchucks look like beavers without the big front teeth. Woodchuck's house was in a big field behind the pond. Little Beaver went to see her. "Am I a woodchuck?" he asked. He mumbled a little, so she wouldn't see that his tooth was funny. "No," she said. "Woodchucks live in holes. You live in a mud house." He was not a woodchuck. Little Beaver thought and thought. At last he had another idea. "Maybe I'm a muskrat," he said. Muskrats live in mud houses. Muskrat's house was in marsh by the river. Little Beaver went to see him. "Am I a muskrat?" he asked. He kept his head down so muskrats wouldn't see that his tooth was funny. "No," said the muskrat. "Muskrats eat fish. You eat bark." He was not a muskrat. He was not a woodchuck. Little Beaver thought and thought. At last he had another idea. "Maybe I'm a porcupine," he said. "Porcupines ate bark." Porcupine's house was in a tree high up on the mountain. Little Beaver went to see her. "Am I a porcupine?" he asked. Little she was too far away to see. Luckily, she was too far away to see that his toot was funny. "No," said Porcupine. "Porcupines live in trees. "I know," said the little beaver sadly. "I live in a mud house." He was not a woodchuck. He was not a muskrat. He was not a porcupine. What was he? Little Beaver thought and thought, but he could not think of the answer. He decided to go back home. On his way, he passed wise old Beaver, who lived in a mud house at the very end of the pond. Wise old Beaver was chewing bark of a tree with his big front teeth. Little Beaver tried to talk without opening his mouth very wide, so wise old Beaver would not see that his tooth was funny. "I'm glad I'm not a porcupine," said Little Beaver. "If I was a porcupine, I'd live in a tree, and I do not know how to climb trees." "Uh-huh," said wise old Beaver. "I'm glad I'm not a woodchuck," said Little Beaver. "If I was a woodchuck, I'd live in a hole, and holes are scary." "Uh-huh," said wise old Beaver. "I'm glad I'm not a muskrat," said Little Beaver. "Muskrats eat fish, and I hate fish." "Uh-huh," said wise old Beaver. "I love bark," said Little Beaver. Wise old Beaver said nothing. "I love to eat bark," repeated Little Beaver, "with my big front teeth." Wise old Beaver kept right on chewing and saying nothing. "Could somebody still be a beaver?" asked Little Beaver, "if he didn't have any big front teeth?" He meant to say teeth, but at the very moment, his loose tooth fell out and the word came out funny. "Yes, he could still be a beaver," said wise old Beaver, without looking up from what he was doing. He might be a very wise old beaver. When beavers get old, sometimes their teeth fell out. "Oh," said Little Beaver sadly. He was pretty sure he wasn't an old beaver. Or he might be a very foolish young beaver. "Really?" asked Little Beaver, sitting up straight. Yes, he could be a foolish little beaver who didn't know that when a tooth falls out, a new one grows in right away. "What a foolish little beaver," said Little Beaver. "Very," said wise old Beaver. "But wise and old, or foolish and young, he is still a beaver." "Yeah, he is," said Little Beaver. "Yet, I am." And he went off to find his friends. The end. That was a really great story. I hope you liked it. That is the end of our circle time. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you soon. Stay home and wash your hands. Be good. See ya.